Namaste students. So today's concept, Unit 1, Chapter 1 and Part 3, Review of Python program. So last class we studied about some concepts about user-defined functions, modules and built-in functions and all those things. And whenever you're going to define a function, there are some things like we need to specify function header and then function definition and all those things. And here we need to study about how to define the function. Here definition we can use by using def, and function name is si, and then we have to specify some variables like p, r, t, and these variables or we can say values p, r, t, it is also called as parameters. See, meaning is parameter is a normal or simple variable. It's not a complex one. It's a simple variable. Whenever you are going to specify such variables along with the function header, it is called as parameter, right? So modules also explained in last class. Modules and user defined functions explained in the last class, and these functions are very important whenever you're going to design a program. And next concept is parameters and arguments. So what do you mean by parameters? Parameter means it's an identifier, or we can say it's a value. It's used along with the function header. See, parameters are used along with the function header, and here it is given that parameters are the values provided in the parenthesis when we write function header. When we write function header, these are the values required by function to work. If there is more than one value required by the function to work on, then all of them will be listed in parameter list separated by comma. See, it is given in last class, it's already explained how to define a function or specifying the function header. Whenever you are specifying the function header, definition is required. Definition and function name is si, and PRT is specified in previous previous example. PRT is given. So those variables or objects PRT is called as parameters. So next thing is, what do you mean by arguments? See, parameters, arguments, variables, or we can say some identifiers, meaning is same. Actually, parameters and arguments having some different meaning, like whenever you are passing the values from one function to another. In function header, it is called as parameter. In function definition or function call, it is called as arguments. See, whenever you are writing parameter or whenever you are writing a variable or values along with the function header, it is called as parameters. And if it is written along with the function call, it is called as arguments. It may be a variable or it may be a value, right? See, it is given that arguments are the values provided in the function call or invoke statement. List of arguments should be supplied in the same way as parameters are listed. Bounding of parameters to arguments is done 1:1. And so there should be the same number and types of arguments as mentioned in the parameter list. See, whenever you are specifying the function header, number of parameters are 3 and its type is specified as integer type. Then in arguments also, number of parameters should be same, that means 3, and its type also that should be integer only. So thing is, number of parameters, data type of parameters should be same as number of arguments, and type of arguments that should be same with the arguments. So parameters and arguments. See, parameters, there you pass the values from function header to function call. See, arguments which receives the values from the function header, it will receive the values from the function header according to the order of how it appear in in a program and type, and then one is number of arguments or number of parameters, that should be the same. See, here example is also given. Arguments in function call SI 1000, 2, 10. Here 1000 to 10, that represents PRT, which is already given in the function parameter PRT. See, here P and 1000, P represents 1000, so data type should be same. R represents 2, here also data type should be same. T represents 10, data type should be the same. And one more thing is number of arguments. In parameters, there are 3 parameters, or in function header 3 parameters. In function call, that should be same. That means 3 parameters should be there. An argument can be constant. An argument can be constant, variable, or expression. So we can treat an argument as, it can be a constant, it may be a variable, or expression. It may be an expression. Okay, these are about parameters and arguments. And here you can expect some question for 1 mark. So what do you mean by parameter and argument? And list the differences between parameters and arguments. So it's very important question. Next, we'll move on to the next slide. Here it is given that example program is given. Write the output of the following function. Define SI P, R equal to 10, T equal to 5. Definition SI is a function. P, there is no initialization. R equal to 10, initialization is there. Value of R equal to 10 and value of T equal to 5. Return P into R into T divided by 100. If we use the following call statement, SI of 1000 and SI of 10,000, SI of 10,000, 5, SI of 50,000, 7, 3. See here what happens is, output will be SI of 10,000, automatically value of P is not mentioned, so automatically what happens is P will be, okay, that will be assigned as 10,000, so answer is 5,000. Answer is 5,000. In case, what happens in case SI 20,000, SI 20,000 and 5, so what happens is it will take value of P is equal to 20,000, value of R equal to 5. So latest value will be updated here. And once again, SI, so 3 values already mentioned, 2 values already mentioned, but we are providing 3 values, new fresh values. SI 50,000, 7, 3. And here what happens is automatically rescheduling will happen, and what happens is 50,000 will be assigned to P and 7 will be assigned to R and 3 will be assigned to T. So answer is 10,500. Answer is 10,500 will be displayed here. And next, move on to the next slide. So what happens is flow of execution. How an execution takes place. See, so last year we studied different types of programming languages. So how it works. So before studying about the programming languages, just go through this one, structured programming concept. So what do you mean by structured programming concept? See, according to this, in structured programming concept, that defines some structure of a program, how we can execute a program and how we can execute statements, and all those things should be mentioned, okay, that will be mentioned in structured program. And same concept introduced in this case also, and here flow of execution, that will be explained in Python programming language. And here it is given that statements are executed one after another from top to bottom. See, as we know, Python programming language uses interpreter, and most of the time it uses top-down approach. So here statements are executed one after the other from top to bottom. And second point is the way of execution of the program shall be categorized into 3 ways. So first one is sequence statement, or we can say sequential. The second one is selection statements. Third one is iteration or looping constructs or looping statements. Okay, these 3 points also explained in the last year, that means class 11. So what do you mean by sequential statement? Sequential statement means there is no jumping, branching, iteration and all those things. That means straight execution, or we can say straight line execution. There are some set of statements. So what happens is interpreter, it will execute the statement one by one. So there is no jumping from one statement to another. There is no branching from one statement to another. There is no decision making also. So what happens is, so it will execute the statements one by one in sequential order, in sequential manner. So it is called as sequence statements. Second one, selection statements. So what do you mean by selection statement? Selection statement means there may be some condition, and according to some condition we need or we have to use the decision making things also. And here what happens is, according to the condition, if it is true, it will execute some set of instructions. If given condition is false, it may execute some other set of statements. Okay, these are about selection statements. In selection statement, it is given in Python programming also. Some of the selection statements are if elif, if nested if, etc. Okay, these are all selection statements. And selection statements can be executed by specifying some condition, and here what happens is branching will happen, and according to the branching, according to the condition, we have to execute some set of instructions. If it is true, some set of instructions. If it is false, some other set of instructions should be executed. And third one is iteration or looping statements. So what do you mean by iteration or looping statements? Iteration or looping statements means, here also we need some condition and we have to execute same set of instructions again and again until the given conditions becomes false. If given condition is false, then it will come out of that particular loop or iteration programming construct. It will come out of that loop. See, according to Python programming language, there are two. So first one is for, second one is while. So depending upon the condition, we can make use of for or while, or depending upon our requirements, we can use any statements. So flow of execution in Python programming, there are three ways or three way of execution: sequence statement, selection statement or selective statements, and then iteration or looping statements. Okay, let us move on to the next slide. Here, sequence statement. See, one program is given. Here it is, example, program to find area of the circle. See, there are no branching or decision making statements. There is no need to generate any list of numbers, so no need of looping construct also. R equal to input, enter any radius of the circle, so that will be stored in R. So it will find A is equal to pi r square 3.142 into R, print area equal to A. See, here there is no branching, there is no jump statement, there is no decision making, there is no looping. So straight away you are going to execute statements one by one as it appear in the program list or program constructs. So we have to execute statements one by one. Here output, enter any radius of the circle. Here it is given 7 and area is equal to 153.86. Okay, these are about sequence statement. Okay, next move on to the next one, that is selective statement or selection statement. See, in this program construct, some portion of program is executed based upon the condition or conditional test, based upon the conditional test. If the condition test is true, compiler or interpreter will execute some part of the program. Otherwise, it will execute other part of the program. This is implemented in Python using if statement. See, For example, suppose if you want to find a number or given number is positive, negative, or if it is equal to 0. So we can make use of if statement. If given number is greater than 0, then we can say it is positive number. If given number is less than 0, it is negative number. If it is equal to 0, we can specify it as equal to 0 itself. See, here also it is given, syntax is given, if condition statements, else some other statement. Here also it is given that if some condition, some statements, we have to execute some statements, if again we have to execute some statements, else we have to execute the statements. Thing is, whenever if condition is given and then colon, and then in the next line executable statement should be written using some tab. That means we need to insert some horizontal tab, and after that we have to write the statements. Otherwise, meaning is, if you are going to write the statements straight away, that means if its level is almost, if it is equal to the if level, so what happens is that will be neglected, that condition will be neglected, so statement will be executed. And elif means else if again we have to use some condition, and again we have to insert horizontal tab and then statements. Again else, if above two conditions are false, then else will be executed. Okay, these are about selection programming construct or selective statements. Next, here one example is given. See, program to find the simple interest based upon number of years. If number of years is more than 12, rate of interest is 10, otherwise 15. See, if number of years is more than 12, rate of interest is 10, otherwise 15. See here, simple interest we have to calculate. If you are going to calculate simple interest, if it is more than 12 years, then it should be 10%. If it is more than, less than 12 years, then automatically it will be 15% or 15. Rate of interest is 15. See, coding will be, so we need to access principal amount and time. Input, enter any principal amount, and t equal to input any time, enter any time. See, here condition is using, we can use if t is greater than 10. T is greater than 10. So what do you mean by greater than 10? So interest will be actually not greater than 10, it should be greater than 12. So small program mistake is there. If t is greater than 12, then SI is equal to P into T into R, 10 divided by 100. P into T into 10 divided by 100. Else, if it is not more than 12 years, if it is not more than 12 years, SI equal to P into T into 15 divided by 100. So small mistake is there, print mistake. T is greater than 10, it should be T is greater than 12, and output will be like this. Okay, we'll move on to the next slide. Here, write a program to input any choice and to implement the following. So we have to choose some choice. Here it is given area of a square, area of rectangle, area of triangle. See, here whenever you are using first choice, area of a square, if it is given area of a square, so we need to access only one side or only one input variable. In case if you are using rectangle, two things should be inserted, that is length and breadth. If you are using area of triangle, three things should be specified. That means three things, or we can say half, breadth and size also, height also we can use. But you are using area of rectangle, we can implement area of rectangle triangle can be implemented by specifying the three sides also. Okay, Here how we can implement this? C equal to, here coding is given that C is equal to input enter any choice, input enter any choice. If C is equal to 1, here condition, here space is not mentioned properly, actually we need to mention a space. See this space is missing. S equal to input enter any side of the square, A equal to S into S. So here S and A, here both statements should be shifted to right. That means we need to insert some horizontal tab. Okay, and this one also, print area equal to A. So only one side you need to access. So area equal to S into S, that is to find the area of a square. Next one is elif C equal to 2, that means rectangle. So we need to access two things, length, breadth. Here it is given that length, breadth, area and print area, those four statements should be shifted to right. That means horizontal tab should be inserted there. That is to find area of rectangle. Two sides should be given here, length and breadth, and area to calculate rectangle is length into breadth, and area that will be stored in A and it will be displayed in print area is equal to A. And next third one, elif C equal to 3. C equal to 3, that means triangle, and here you are going to access three sides, x and y, x, y and z. So three things. To calculate area of a triangle when three sides are given, so first we need to access three sides, then we need to calculate S equal to x plus y plus z divided by 2, that is diagonal we can say, and we can calculate area equal to square root of S into S minus x into S minus y into S minus z. Here S is missing, again a small mistake here, S is missing, S into S minus x, S minus y into S minus z, and to the power, see we can use square of the number using import or from module, math.h we can call here math function. We can import math function, or we can use from import math function and its function also we can use here. That is to find the square root of this one. So S is missing here. Okay, let it be there, not a problem. Print area equal to A, else print output wrong input. So it will display like this, output enter any choice. Here it is given 2, that is to find the area of rectangle. Enter length equal to length, it is 4, breadth equal to 6, and area is equal to 24. Just move on to the next slide. Iterative statements. In some programs, certain set of statements are executed. Certain set of statements are executed again and again based upon conditional test, that is executed more than one time. This type of execution is called looping or iteration. That means execution of same set of instructions, that means again and again, until the given condition becomes false. So looping statement in Python is implemented by using for and while statement. So there are two statements, for and while. See, syntax also given. Syntax for loop. For, we need to specify a variable for A in range. Here start, stop plus 1 step is given. Start is to specify the initialization or specify the starting point. Stop plus 1, that indicates the last point. For example, if you are going to take last number, if it is 10, that should be specified as 10 plus 1, that should be the 11. And then step should be specified, step that indicates iteration. We can use plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, etc., or minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 also. Okay, that means in a single line initialization is there, that means starting point is there, and then some condition is there, step plus 1, stop plus 1, condition is there, or we can say upper bound. Here start means lower bound, stop plus 1 is upper bound, and step means iteration. Step means iteration, start, stop plus one, iteration, step, and then statements. Then statement, and here statement should be mentioned after an horizontal tab. Horizontal tab should be there. Then syntax for while statement. While some condition, here also we need to specify the colon. So colon indicates end of that while statement and not full statement, not while looping construct. And then we have to specify the statements itself, and statement should be inserted in next line immediate after horizontal tab. Horizontal tab. Okay, these are about iterative statements. Iterative statements in Python programming concept. And we'll see you in next session.